Buckle up, folks. This podcast is all about diving into the good, the bad, and the ugly of our bodily, spiritual, and mental experiences. If you are not prepared to challenge your assumptions, laugh at yourself, laugh at me, or maybe even shed a tear or two, then you might want to look elsewhere. But if you're ready to get real, get honest, and get a little weird, then welcome to the Just Chrissy podcast. I'm your host, Chrissy McCammon. Welcome back, friends. This is Chrissy, the host of Just Chrissy and owner of Rooted in Wellness. We are on part 2 of the sleep podcast I started yesterday. We just brief overview. We talked about the cannibalism, the anabolism, the house cleaning that happens, how important light and dark is. We talked about the circadian rhythm. We talked about the pineal gland and how it creates hormones while we sleep between the hours of 9 and 2. So that's just a quick brief overview. If you didn't get to listen to that one, you probably want to go back. But so to continue on, while we sleep, we are processing everything that we experienced through the day is being processed and filed. To me, this is like only God could pull this off. Our bodies are completely relaxed. We are disconnected in the sense of we have no idea what's going on, but yet all these mechanisms are happening inside our body, in our digestive system, in our brain, in all our little cells are communicating while we sleep. Anyway, so everything we experience through the day is being processed and filed. This filing system puts our memories in the appropriate filing place, and it depends on the emotions and thoughts that are connected with what is being processed. It's super interesting because like is with like. So angry memories are with angry memories. Happy memories are with happy memories. That's why when you start to recount something, you will also start to remember these other things that happened. It's been super interesting while I've been writing my book, because there were things that I totally forgot about. And as I was digging deep within to process something that had happened or my emotions about something, suddenly I would remember this other thing that happened that I hadn't thought about for a long time. And it's because memories are filed with like memories. So since the 1950s, there's been a lot of research that's revealed that the brain goes through alternating cycles while we sleep. And you want to be aware of these cycles. So REM, which is rapid eye movement, is when the brain is active. And then there's non-rapid eye movement, or NREM, which is a much deeper sleep. And both of those stages play a super important role. And I used to think, well, one happened, then the other one would happen. But it actually kind of alternates, interestingly enough. So the busy and still times go through 90-minute cycles. Super important for you people who like to hit the snooze button. So you know how you hit the snooze button and you doze back off, and the snooze button goes off 10 minutes later, and you wake up and you feel groggy and you just want to hit the snooze button again. It's because you're in the middle of one of these cycles. Learn to get to bed early enough so that your body wakes up on its own, because when it wakes up on its own, it has completed a 90-minute cycle and it's time to get up. Or if you're going to go back to sleep, you're going to want to sleep for another 90 minutes. If for some reason you do get interrupted in the middle of this 90-minute sleep cycle, if you jump in the cold shower that for a minute or two, that will help reset that and get you out of that groggy state. But that's why you feel that way, because you're in the middle of this 90-minute cycle. We have these shifts, and we spend most of the time in the non-rapid eye movement cycle, the deep sleep, during the first half of the night. So then during the early sleep cycles, the non-rapid eye movement is typically 20 to 40 minutes long, but as we continue sleeping, the stages get shorter and then more time gets spent in the rapid eye movement instead. I'm not going to go into depth about these like what time the different ones are happening. You can look into that more. However, I will tell you that it's super important that you are getting to bed at a decent time, because a lot of work is happening before midnight. And if you're not getting to bed, then you're not allowing the brain to do the work that it needs to do. For instance, through the night, I was looking here for like details, like what's happening, like sleep involving greater slowing of the body's processes, allowing the immune system to utilize more energy to fight infection. So we're boosting the immune system and allowing our body time to recover and grow. And then there's a courier service that's started when where the memory we take in all through the day is actually moved. And this is super important. So before midnight, this is happening. Your memory, all these memories are being gathered up. Your brain is going through a house cleaning event, and your short-term memory unit, the hippocampus, is emptied out, and the memories are moved into the long-term storage unit, the cortex. The cortex refers to the top section of the brain. And then that's happening when you're in the NREM. But then when you're in the REM, your brain activity picks up, and it actually, when they study it, is like near levels like you're awake. At the same time, the body experiences atonia, which is a temporary paralysis of the muscles, except for two exceptions: the eyes and the muscles that control breathing. This is usually when your dreaming happens. Old memories, past events, and recent experiences are pulled out, molded together to be able to be filed into the correct spot. The things that we learned and experienced through the day are confirmed and consolidated into our memory at this time. It's during REM, or rapid eye movement, we develop creative ideas. It's our inventing time. I have never seen anybody do this any better than my stepfather, who's now passed away, but his name was Bobby. And he owned his own business, and he would have a very perplexing problem. And he would, during the night while he was sleeping, solve the problem. He would get up the next morning and have the answer. It was amazing. I saw him do this time and time again. So for these processes to be fully completed each night, you must have 8 hours of sleep. Sleep stages are important because they allow the brain and the body to recuperate and develop. The failure to obtain enough of the deep sleep and the REM may explain some profound consequences that insufficient sleep has on your thinking, your emotions, and physical health. And I think about like mamas with newborn babies, and how you're so sleep deprived, and how that affects us. So the brain is a very busy place while you're sleeping. This also shows how important it is that we do sleep in the night hours, especially before midnight. So like I said yesterday, when between 9:30 and 10:30, when the yawning starts and you start feeling tired, go to bed. There are things like sleep apnea that are an issue, and just brief overview, some things that might be an issue here. Or that they see a lot is excessive weight, because if you're carrying extra weight when you lie down, the extra pressure on the neck can cause the narrowing of the airways, which compromises the amount of air passing into the lungs. Allergies can also be an issue because the reduction of the flow of air can cause issues. It also encourages this mouth breathing, and we need to talk about that. We are going to talk about mouth breathing and nose breathing here at some point. But it does, this mouth breathing can bring along with it a whole host of potential health issues, like bad breath, dry mouth, sore throat, to more serious things like the sleep apnea, high blood pressure, and impaired brain function. The body's designed to inhale and exhale through the nose. Mouth breathing is recognized as one of the causative factors of sleep apnea in children. I do just want to talk about this for a second. So if you are a mouth breather, or if you don't know, pay attention, see if you are. Without my notes in front of me, you need 4 carbon dioxide molecules and 4 oxygen, and it has to come in through your nose. Your nose is the humidifier to your body. It also is responsible for making sure that oxygen goes into your cells. You need the 4 carbon dioxides and the 4 oxygen molecules together for that oxygen to be able to enter the cell. What is happening today is we are having so much dairy, so much refined sugar, so much stuff that's bad for us that we have a lot of phlegm build up into our sinus area, and we cannot breathe through our nose. So what do? We breathe through our mouth. Well, then what happens? You're not getting enough oxygen into your cells. So when people are like, my sinus is bothering me, I got all this, what do I need to do? And I'm like, get rid of the dairy for a while, get rid of the sugar and refined stuff for a while. To get that phlegm down. We'll talk about that probably too, like the cycle of life, how you have, have an apple and then it'll get a spot on it with bacteria, and then it starts getting fungusy, and then eventually it turns into mold. Well, guess what's coming out your nose? It's like the breakdown of the body. So you got to stop taking in the things that are doing that so that you can breathe through your nose. It also is helpful to do like breathing exercises where you're intentionally sitting and breathing deeply through your nose and then back out your nose. And the benefit of that is, again, connected, that you reset your body from that stressed, sympathetic nervous system into the relaxed parasympathetic nervous system. Remember, we talked about breathing back then. So here we are again, all connected. So here's some things you can do. Sunshine is very important. Again, the light and dark signals, they go into your brain through your eyes. The eyes are the windows into the soul and the brain. And don't look directly into sunlight, but be outside early in the morning. Dr. Neil Needley, it has a book called Depression: A Way Out of the Show. A Way Out shows that the first hour of light of the day is really powerful at resetting the circadian rhythm. He found that up to 80% of his depressed patients experienced a disruption in their circadian rhythm. So get outside in the sun. Drink at least 8 glasses of water through the day. Get you a little piece of Celtic salt. By the way, get rid of the Morton salt. It's not good for you. It's killing your taste buds. Get a little piece of Celtic salt. Either put it in the water. Actually, if you have a 10-ounce glass of water in the morning, first thing, and you just put a couple pinches of that Celtic salt or Baja Gold, mineralized Baja Gold salt. You can get it off Amazon. Put a little bit of that in your water. Drink it. That will mineralize your body. Getting to bed by 9 in the evening or so, between 9 and 10, because we deal with the daylight savings thing too, which is very disruptive, and get enough sleep. You need a total of 8 hours at least. And then also, I think too, when we ladies, especially maybe men too, we have a hard time shutting our brain off, and we have this chatterbox in our head where we're reviewing everything that happened that day, all the what ifs, and I cannot tell you enough. Grief, anxiety, discontent, remorse, guilt, distrust, irritation, annoyance are like peace stealers. And they will take an effect on your mental health, and they will also keep you from sleeping well. And so the mind has the ability to resist these emotions and concentrate on the positive things in life. The Bible says, I think it's in Galatians, I don't have it right in front of me, but to focus on the noble things, the good things, the positive things. And we should focus on those, because those are the pathways in our brain that we want to create. Gratitude is a choice, and we are often tempted to neglect the healing emotions when we cannot sleep. So maybe some things you can do, like in your brain as you're laying there, list all the things in your brain that you're thankful for, because First Thessalonians 5:8 says to give thanks in all things. Laughter is great for the soul and the spirit. It's like medicine. To encourage sleep, you got to stay out of that chat room in your head. We need to do calm. Another thing too, people often have, like, especially if you work, you have like a list of things in your head that you need to do. Get a notepad, put it beside your bed, make notes so you can just release that and not worry about it. Also, abstain from technology. See, I told you this is a big subject. I'm going to run over, but I'm going to finish this out. It's going to be a little longer. Technology, the blue light and the red light. You ever sit next to a campfire and how you start to get tired? It's because the red light brings up the melatonin and makes you more tired. Blue light is like getting the sunshine and it's saying, oh, it's time to wake up. So putting the cell phones down. Also, the other thing that can happen too is what happens in the chatter room in your brain is you read something on Facebook that upsets you or works you up or whatever. So get away from that stuff before bed. Plug your phone in away from your bed so that you're not getting the EMFs. And a lot of times too, if I can't sleep, I will listen to a podcast. I will listen to some music, read a book. That's something that's calming to you, and don't have coffee after like 12 or 1 o'clock. The caffeine is like a mini crisis happening in your body, and so you're producing cortisol to deal with that. So try and stay away from that. Do the breathing through the nose, and then don't eat for 4 hours before bed. Your body needs to be able to focus on resting, not breaking down food and putting more energy into your body. Also, have a routine at bedtime for your children. Timing and rhythm play a vital part in all your body functions, and the body loves it when we do the same things at the same time every day. And so being regular in every area of our life will enhance the routine of sleep. You need to have a bedtime routine that tells the kids, we're calming down. This is now time for bed. We do this. Maybe you can diffuse some lavender, essential oils. Maybe you could give them an epsom salt bath, which would have magnesium to help them calm down. And also make sure you're getting exercise through the day so that you're using up some of that excess energy. I know if I'm having a hard day because I'm doing something emotional, exercise really helps me get that energy out. So I've already run over by a couple minutes. This is a huge, vastly huge subject. You must get that 8 hours of sleep so that your brain can your body can clean the brain up, can file the memories where they need to be, and you have proper function. If you are someone who's chronically going to bed after midnight, you are going to, over time, have some serious issues, or probability of some serious issues to deal with memory and brain fog and all those things. So this is super important that this one, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you definitely need to apply.